Hallelujah. Woo, hallelujah. All right, let's get started with part 3 of my testimony. Um, I'll try to pick up where I left off in the last video. I believe I was like 12, 13 years old when I was in going into the first year of high school, and I had just gotten baptized, like I guess the year before getting into high school, and being in high school, I wanted to fit in, and that was my biggest struggle, trying to fit in with my friends, with my peers who were not in the church. And so that's where I began to go left. Me not wanting to be associated with the church anymore. I wanted to hang out with my friends and go to parties and be able to do what I wanted to do as a kid or as a teenager, or a young teenager. And so I felt stifled in my mom's house, living with my grandma, because my grandma was living with us with my mom. And so one day I told my mom, like, I don't want to live here anymore. Like, I wanted to go live with my dad, because I felt like living with my dad, I would have more freedom, because my dad was not in the Seventh-day Adventist church as my mom was. And so I felt like if I went to go live with my dad, then I could probably do what the flesh wanted to do, go have fun with my friends, and hang out with my peers, go to parties, etc. Little did I know that my dad, it wouldn't have been easy to just do what I wanted with my dad. I was a fool to think that. Anyway, so yeah, my mom sent me to go live with my dad during the summer, after the first year of high school. During that summer I moved and I went to go live with my dad. So my second year of high school, I started a brand new school. I lived in a different city, because my mom and my dad lived in 2 different cities in Belize. And so my dad sent me to a Catholic high school. It was an all-girls convent Catholic high school. And being there went against everything that my mom and my grandma taught me in the Seventh-day Adventist church. And so I was in this struggle between wanting to do what my flesh wanted to do, and then having the knowledge from what my mom and my grandma taught me, knowing that I wanted to still do good, but also still wanted to do evil, is the beginning of my struggle between good and evil. And so anyway, I found a lot of things that helped me as a teenager. One of them was having a journal. And in that journal, I wrote my goals for my life. I was like 14 years old, writing out my goals for my life. And I can remember clearly making my ultimate goal. And my ultimate goal for my life was to get to heaven. But at 14 years old, that was my ultimate goal for my life. Like, I knew at that age that nothing I could achieve in this world could compare to me getting into heaven. Like, it's not worth, whatever the world has to offer is not worth me losing my spot in Shamayim. Shamayim means the heavens. And so, even though I still had that fleshly desire to go do what a teenager would want to do normally, my ultimate goal was still to make it to Shamayim. And so struggling as a teenager, like, I always felt like a hypocrite, because in my dad's house, like, Saturday or the 7th day was the day that they would do chores in that house. And so I had to go against my beliefs of knowing that I should rest on the Sabbath from what my mom taught me to now doing work on the Sabbath. And my chore was I had to clean the restroom, well, clean the bathroom every Sabbath and clean my room, and that was my chore. And then I also had to help with laundry sometimes. And so I hated feeling like a hypocrite, like always walking the fence. And so that was my struggle as a teenager. And even as I got older, into my junior year and my senior year of high school, I struggled with that. I always felt like a hypocrite. Like I knew what the truth was, but I still wasn't doing it. Even though I say the truth being what I knew to be true at that time was what the Seventh-day Adventist Church was teaching me. But now I know that they're not all 100% true. And so yeah, that was my high school life. I'll do the next video going into when I graduated high school and then starting college in Belize. Shalom. Woo! Hallelujah. 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 All right. So I wanted to say in the last video too that so when I was in high school, I fell in love with this little boy who I was a fool for, and crazy who were for moving me away from him. And so I didn't let my parents know that I was in a relationship when I was in high school. I hid my relationship from them, and so yeah, I had a boyfriend behind my parents' back in high school. Anyway, so graduated high school. I felt like, all right, this is a new start. I was going to college, even during high school, like I struggled with what I wanted to do or what I wanted to be as far as like in a career, what I wanted to study. But I knew that I always loved the outdoors, like, and the country of Belize is a very like touristy, if that's a word, country. The tourism industry there is very, it's I guess one of the biggest industries there. And so in high school, I was leaning towards going to work in the tourism industry there. And so I went to the University of Belize and took their associate degree program in tourism studies because I knew I wanted to work in that field. But yeah, I broke up with my boyfriend from high school. I was starting college. I wanted a fresh start. And I can remember my orientation day for college. I remember being in the parking lot of school at UB, this University of Belize, and I said a prayer that day. I remember this prayer so vivid. Like I was praying for a soulmate. Like I wanted to find the love of my life in college. And Yahuwah, he so to speak, you could say he answered my prayers because I found my ex-husband in college there. And my ex-husband was a good husband. Even though our marriage ended, I praise Yah for him. Like he was an answered prayer at the time. And I was so in love with him. 1 year into me being in college, and us starting a relationship in college, his family was about to relocate to the United States. And so I was so brokenhearted because like we had just started a relationship and now he and his family, they're leaving the country to go start a new life in the US. And I didn't know how to deal with it. I was like 17 or 18 years old. And being young and in love, I was stupid, and I wanted to run away. Like I wanted to go be with him, you know. And I at first I didn't. I stayed, and we had a long distance relationship for the first year that um, he went to live in the U.S. And it was the hardest year of my life. Like at the end of that year, like I literally said, okay, that was it. Like I finished my associate degree in Belize, and then I was like going to start my bachelor's degree. I um I ended up doing one semester for my bachelor's degree, and then I can remember clearly writing a letter to my mom stating that I'm leaving and I'm going to the U.S. to live with my then boyfriend. And and my mom found the letter before I could even leave it, and she was so devastated because I was literally gonna run away from home to go start a new life in the U.S., like a whole new country just for this man. And wow, that was a lot. I was torn between wanting to have a life of my own and also trying to be a good daughter and stay in school and finish my bachelor's degree. Um, anyway, I ended up still going, but I ended up returning back home. Like I only went for like a few weeks to go visit him in the U.S., and then I went back home. Still trying to finish school, but then at the end of my first year in my bachelor's degree, uh, actually, let me back up a little bit, because when I went to go visit him, shoot, I can't remember if this was the time I went to visit him. Anyway, he proposed marriage to me. So we got engaged. And then as soon as we got engaged, like I had to go back home to Belize to finish school. And so I was 19 years old when I got engaged. And being away from my fiance doing school, like, I couldn't focus. So I ended up leaving school again and just actually literally running away from home for real this time, not just to go visit. Like I literally left to go live in the US with him. And and that was the beginning of my new life. So yeah, I'm gonna stop this here, and then I'm gonna speak a little bit more on my life from here going forward, or at that point going forward. Shalom.